Hello, in today's topic we're going to talk about foreclosure or estate property. Well, what I'm going to be discussing with you in regards to this would be the risks involved with both investments. And most of the public thinks that the foreclosure is the way to go. And it really, that information and that decision from the consumer is solely based on the price. I can understand it being very attractive because the price is so low. But keep in mind, the reason the price is low is that there are risks involved. So I want to share this information with you. Also, the next piece of information I'd like to share with you is the general public calls a foreclosure a property that has been foreclosed on and taken back from the bank and is now listed on the MLS by a real estate agent. That really isn't true. That's known as a bank-owned property. And I'm talking about foreclosures that are owned by a bank, not by HUD. So that's just a small description on what we're going to be talking about here. So let's get started. Now I'm going to give you 5 risks that are involved with purchasing a foreclosure. Now, keep in mind that the foreclosed home is listed normally significantly under market value. Okay, so 75% of the time the utilities will be off in the property, and actually that percentage is much higher, but I rather keep my percentages on the low part. In fact, I have not been in one foreclosure yet where the utilities were on. Number 2, 90% of the time the home has been vacant for a minimum of 10 months, and actually it's usually 12 to 14 months. Number 3, 99.9% of the time you will need to turn on the utilities in your own name before you conduct your home inspection. Now, obviously, I recommend all my buyers to get a home inspection on the property they're interested in. And that would mean that you would have to turn the utilities on in your name to get your home inspection. So obviously, there's going to be some cost involved there. Number 4, 100% of the time, you need to sign additional bank paperwork in addition to the agreement of sale that gives you more responsibility and gives you more risk than the seller. So, there's not a problem with that if you agreed all of those papers and you read the fine print, but there's a lot more risk involved with purchasing a foreclosure. And again, that's why it's listed so much under market. And the 5th thing I want you to know is 75% of the time, after you do your home inspection, you're not going to be able to negotiate with the seller on any kind of repairs. The home is being sold in as-is condition. So those are some things about the foreclosure side. Now the estate property side, these are some differences. You still have risks involved, but they're a little bit of a lesser risk. With an estate property, just a small definition, is a property that is being listed on the market through a real estate agent, and the home was owned by someone that has passed on and is no longer here with us. So that's an estate property. Now, number 1, 90% of the time the utilities are on for you to view the home. Number 2, 75% of the time the home is vacant for about 6 months, but the family or executors of the estate have maintained the property. They go and check on the property, and it's not left for 10 or 12 months on its own with nobody checking on it. Number 3, 99.9% of the time you do not need to turn the utilities on in your own name because the utilities are already on, and they will be left on until the day of settlement. So you can do your pre-settlement walkthrough, you can go back and do measurements and all that good stuff. The only thing that isn't going to be offered to you most of the time is a full seller's disclosure. Now that isn't offered with a foreclosed home either because the bank has never lived in the property. Same with an estate property. Usually orally you can talk to the seller's agent and find information about what the family might know about the previous maintenance to the property or updates or upgrades or whatever, and get some information orally, but you're not going to get anything in writing. It's very seldom you get something in writing. Also, one of the most important parts there's 2 really important parts to an estate property. The 4th thing is 99% of the time you're not signing any of your rights away. You don't have additional addendums or anything like that like the bank requires you to have. You just have your standard agreement of sale, and the seller has to keep their responsibility as well. And the best part that I feel as part of the estate property investment is number 5. 75% of the time the seller will negotiate with you after the home inspection is complete. So if there's things that you feel uncomfortable with, a lot of the times you can negotiate for either a credit or negotiate for a repair. So as you can see, this will give you just a little bit more information about the risks that are involved with a foreclosure and an estate property. I hope this helped you with your future investment of your next home. Thank you.